Stalker here. So I thought I'd take you down this road in Hamilton, which is sort of infamous to me, but it's famous in the whole province of Ontario right now. That is Burlington Street East in Hamilton. Every year the Canadian Automobile Association has members in the public vote on what is Ontario's worst road. And I think this is now the third year in a row Burlington Street has won. Now, this particular section here is the residential area, and it's, if you can see in the camera, it's just the typical residential crap roads that we have to deal with in Hamilton. It's not too bad, but once we get up to the next stoplight, we're into the industrial section, which is where it gets really, really bad. Now, it's infamous to me because this is a road I used to commute on the way to work almost every day. Over the years, I tried different routes and whatnot to try to find the best way to get to work, and no matter how crappy the road was, this was still the best way. Now, this particular section here was repaved about let's say about 15-20 years ago, so this actually looks really good, but you can still see like the pavement's cracking and whatnot. And the section up ahead here they also redid, and it's actually concrete with asphalt on top, and it's not too bad. And now we're just down to the regular asphalt, or sorry, the regular concrete. Now, if they had actually done the whole route, this road would not be on the list. But I haven't been down here for, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years. I usually don't come down this way anymore since I don't need to. Like, you really can't feel, but the road's really choppy. Like, the bike's sort of bouncing back and forth like that. And you can really feel it in the car. If you got a car with like a short wheelbase, like a little sports car, especially things like Corvettes, which, you know, ride really hard to start with, you can actually get yourself feeling like seasick driving down this road. And like, this is the main industrial entrance exits slash into the Hamilton core, industrial core, that is. See some of the businesses. These are the smaller, like you see some residences around here too. Like there's like a lot of the industrial stuff sort of popped up in big bump in around residential areas, and eventually the residential areas got either expropriated by the city or bought by the industries and turned into more industrial areas. But there's a few places where there's still a lot of homes. Now, this is where, when I used to drive, this is stoplight here is where the road started to become total crap. Judging by how slow this truck's moving. Oh yeah, geez, a big bump. You can see the cracks, another big frickin' bump. And another, and another. Oh, geez, another. Oh crap. Yeah. Yeah, see, this still hasn't changed much. I'm trying to watch the bumps, because if I can see them I can get out of my seat so I don't end up getting my back messed up. Because about 5 years before I was retiring, I came down here one morning, and literally overnight, the night before, like the day before when I drove into work, it wasn't there. The next day it was this massive ridge, and it hit me. It went right through my back. Like, I actually thought I had whiplash, because it went right up to the base of my skull, and it was absolutely freaking painful as can be. And for the next 4 or 5 years, I ended up with severe back pain. So they have concreted this section. This road here used to be 4 lanes wide. They actually narrowed it. Obviously, the scrape marks means they have probably scored it because it was probably too small of a smooth of a concrete for motorcycles and cars when it was wet. And again, you can still feel the dippity-doo-dah thing. My suspension, like it's only moving up and down an inch, but it's like just non-stop up and down. You can actually feel it. Now this part here is 1,000 times better because it was on this section of the road where I hit the ridge and hurt my back. And now we're back into the crappy road. And the overpass there is now called Nikola Tesla's Boulevard. I don't even want to know why. It's weird crap that Hamilton does. But you can see there's another ridge. Oh shit, that was bad. And this section down here is actually very bad. Oh, light changes. Well, I just saw a big patch of oil I had to miss. Yeah, so this is the industrial area down here. That is, it's now called ArcelorMittal Dofasco. It's a steel company. I think it's actually the largest steel company in Canada now. Used to be 2. There was Stelco and Dofasco. Stelco is sort of a shadow of itself. ArcelorMittal Dofasco is sort of like, I guess, the big player. They make the high-end stuff. Now, you know, when you see a sign saying bumps on a road like this, they must be really bad. And the trucks are slowing down to a crawl. Oh, look at these railway tracks. Oh my god. Stand up. Oh, wow. Like I say, I haven't been down here for 5 years. The building used to be there. It got torn down. There was a building right there for the gas company, and that got torn down about 10 or 11 years ago. I remember that one going. And you figure the road's fairly protected by the overpass, and yet it's still pretty crappy. And again, you can get back on the overpass if you just had to head out to go to Toronto or Niagara Falls, or you stay on the lower path, the regular road, if you're heading to someplace around here. Oh dear. Another set of rail lines. Oh, those aren't too bad. Man, that one was pretty okay. Yeah, this is again, it's just choppy, and like you just see the holes that have been patched by hand. But this, I'm going to put a link into the Automobile Club, so if you want to look at the list and see who's all the worst roads. But I can honestly say that this particular road has probably been on the list for Canada's worst road for at least 15 years, maybe even more. I remember when it first showed up, it was like number 9, and we were like so happy the fact it actually made the list, because there's a lot of crappy roads, and there's actually a lot of really crappy roads in Hamilton, like Barton Street, which runs sort of parallel to here. Parts of Barton Street are absolutely atrocious, like absolutely horrible, but they don't hold a candle to Burlington Street. Oh, and a sunken manhole cover. Yeah, it's like I'm actually sitting on the bike barely, like I'm using my legs to keep my butt off the seat as much as possible, because I'm just getting constantly slammed here. I guess this road, actually, believe it or not, is one of the reasons back in 1986, I think it was, or 85, I bought a Kawasaki KLR600, because it was a dual purpose bike with like 9 inches of travel, and I could actually drive down these roads without getting my spine realigned every day. And until I moved out to where I live now, the KLR was like an awesome bike for that. But where I live now, to get to where I worked, I had to go on the highway a bit. And one thing the KLRs were is not fast. So this here is the end of Burlington Street East, more or less. It sort of merges with Tesla Boulevard, whatever they call it. Maybe get over one lane. Oh, sorry. I think I just messed up. Yeah, I did. Oh well. Oh well. And we're going to go on the highway apparently. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it. DeathsStalker signing off.